So, as you can see, this book is not for young kids. It is for young adults and sick fuckers like yourself. Oh, let's see. I'll read something else. What do you want to hear, man?
What I want to hear?
Yeah.
Missy Bale.
All right, Missy Bale. This guy's a sadist right here, man. He wants to hear the bullshit, man. Hey, while I'm paging through this, I've seen a lot of cameras going off. Who's all here tonight? What's going on? Who's this gentleman back here? This good-looking guy back here. Who's it? What's that? Oh, it's nice to meet you, my brother. How are you? You're a very handsome man for a owner of a magazine such as the one that you have. Yeah, that's the whole shtick, isn't it? You know. See, I can't do that, man. I walk into some place, man. I'm already on watch. I'm on watch, man. But you, man, you walked in here. I thought, who the fuck's this guy? I'm gonna have to kick his ass.
Well, you know, I met Mike when I produced his first record, and actually several records after that, it seems like, and he's the first person I ever called the police on at my studio, and he was living there at the time. He called my wife things that I won't say, but no, the things he said I would embarrass him if I actually said it. I mean, it was bad, and you know, the things he said to my wife was even worse, and we had the opportunity to send him to the hospital, and it would have cost him boku bucks. Instead, we just called his brother.
Yeah, Brian Adams.
Absolutely.
You're not shitting.
And we're still apologizing for his brother.
All right. Now, damn it. How about this guy from Channel 25? This guy took time out of his busy schedule to come visit with me and us.
Think of all the car wrecks he didn't cover.
Seriously.
There haven't been any fires tonight.
There's nothing going on in Heaven's Ocean, man. This story is probably one of the most disturbing stories in this book. Once again, it is all true. And every time I read this story, I shudder. It makes me quiver like a man getting a rectal exam. It hurts me to read this story. So here we go. Amputee junkie. Meet Missy Beale. We were all having the time of our lives until someone dared me to snort a rail of meth off the amputee's nub. I've been trying to avoid this beast all evening. I couldn't make eye contact. I wanted to find the person responsible for inviting such a spectacle and punch him right in the kidneys. This was not right, but it had settled down. The freak was sitting at the other end of the room. After all, the drugs were free, and after a few lines of that rocket fuel, no disability was going to keep me down. I'd almost forgotten she was even in the room when some asshole from the sidelines belted out, "Hey Adams, I'll give you $5 to snort a rail of meth off Missy's nub." I could smell the arm. It reeked of ace bandage and some sort of generic oatmeal. And there was no fucking way in hell that I would ever surrender to snort anything off of this wild-eyed cripple's nub. Missy stood about 5'4" tall and weighed about 180 pounds. No one really liked her, but tolerated her presence because they didn't want to hurt her feelings. That and the fact that this beast was not stable, and if you didn't watch what you said, she might rat you out to the police. Everyone knew this, and it was for that reason, and the reason of her only displaying one chubby arm, and another part tucked into a very large I taught putty tack t-shirt, I wouldn't go near her. No one was really certain how she lost the arm, and no one really had the guts to ask her. These types of questions can be tricky. And even the junkies knew it. "I'm gonna fucking snort shit off that fucking arm of yours, Missy. Fucking forget it," I said to her, feeling my rage and uncomfortability starting to take center stage. "If one of you motherfuckers don't get this crazy bitch away from me, I'll set this whole goddamn house on fire," I shouted, becoming a desperate man with pyromania being my only way out. Lunatic Sherm came running out of the bathroom screaming something about an Indiana bullwhip. The riot between me and this degenerate amputee had sort of lost its momentum due to the fact that everyone's attention had now shifted to the madness running at top speed from the shitter. I completely forgot he was even in the goddamn house. He must have been locked up in the bathroom for 30 minutes or more. Long enough for more than half of us to forget that he was even there, and long enough to miss my near breakdown once the whole nub chase began. He shuttled up to Missy and belted her across the face with a sock filled with what appeared to be mud. But seconds after it splattered and the stench began to fill the room, it was perfectly clear what was really in the sock. Jesus fucking Christ, I screamed over the top of many other screams and cries of disgust that amplified throughout the house. I couldn't believe my eyes. The only thing I could trust was that of my nose, and it was telling me that some big son of a bitch just horse-slapped some fat amputee with a tube sock full of shit. Everyone started running for the door to get out, even the owner of the house. Nobody knew who was going to be next to make contact with Sherm's Indiana bullwhip. You motherfucking stick asshole, you put shit on me. But the more she cried and screamed, the funnier it became, to Sherm and myself. After all, how many times in my 33 years have I bared witness to some imbecile wailing on a great American reject with a tube sock full of dung? But then I thought to myself, why the fuck am I still here? There's a fat amputee with shit all over her, lying on the floor. The vibe had really gone wrong, and from the intensity in the room, I could tell that it was about to get a lot worse. I finished my beer off, but not before examining it for any remnants of bullwhip shit on the bottom. As I finished my last swig, I thought about how Sherm got the shit into the sock. Missy, that's what you get for trying to get me to snort shit off your arm, I shouted at her heading toward the door. She was too emotional to even reply. I figured it was a good time to leave. The only sounds that were filling the room were too disturbing to handle at that moment. When I stepped outside, everyone was just looking on in horror. I warned them that it was best not to go in there for a while. It was just too weird. Later I heard a rumor that Sherm and Missy fucked that night after I left the room. Shit-covered amputee meets snaggletooth redneck. I wasn't surprised. I knew that something was brewing in that room before I left. Perhaps if I would have stayed, they would have tried to get me in on the mix. But make no mistake about it, I will never snort anything off of a stump that used to wiggle and hold shit. And I will go to my grave without sexing up some junky amputee covered in toilet bowl soup. Long live the Indiana bullwhip. There you go, my friend. Woo! That's some fucked up shit. Let me goddamn tell you, man, that is some screwed up shit. Well, man, I'm gonna talk a little bit. Well, shit, I told that guy I'd do an interview.